Hey, I don't see any players around here. Better not be any players around here. This is a GM only episode. That's right, you players, get out of here. This is a spoiler episode. You don't want to learn about what's going on in this adventure because today on Rocket Punch, we're going to take a look at this, the Book of Quests, an adventure made by Scotty for EZD6. Hey, what's that? I see a player. Get out of here, player. Get out of here. This is GM's only. Rocket Punch.
All right. Thanks, Wingus. Anyway, there better not be any players around here. This is a GM only. Lots of spoilers. I'm not going to go through the whole book, just a little snippet so you can kind of see what exactly Scotty kind of does for his game scenarios. So when I first bought this book, like over a year ago, there was no information on the net, so I just bought it because I trusted Scotty. But it's always nice to kind of get a little peek, see what kind of things he's got cooking. So the EZD6 Book of Quests. This art, super cool. On the back, crazy elves and a Scotty by Runehammer. So just real quick, take just a quick little peek at this game book. Lots of cool black and white art with some little highlights of green. I really love the black and white line art because in the 80s, that's what it was. Didn't have color. So anyway, just a little bit, just shows a introduction. What's the world book, using the quests. And then it kind of has like 3 steps, kind of towns and trials. So the pushers and shovers, the players in this game, they'll be kind of starting, just kind of like going town to town, kind of making a name for themselves. And then darkness falls, the stakes get higher and higher. And then making of legends, that's when you guys really start like god power, like superpower guys. It's really cool. Introduction, another little saying by Scotty. There's a whole bunch, just like there were in the EZD6 core book. There's a little sprinkling of Scottyisms throughout the book, which are really helpful. Just how to use the book. I won't go through all that. It's just some GM stuff. And then it just kind of has, so you don't have to play this whole book from start to finish. You can also kind of pick what you want and just squeeze them into your own adventure. They're pretty bite-sized little nugget one-shots almost, but they can also string together as this whole story does kind of have a little thing growing out through the whole book that are little nuggets of little Easter eggs and stuff if you were playing the whole thing straight through, or you can kind of play one by one, or any order doesn't really matter so much either. If you're playing the game, you can, you don't want to go from here to here. You can, but it would be kind of weird. But for one-shots, yeah, you can pick whatever you want. So he does also set up, you could roll 1d6 here and kind of pick what works best for you if you're not going to play from beginning to end, which we did. We played beginning almost to the end. It's adults, so we all kind of had things to do. We'll try to get back to it, but we did play through all of the first part, all of the second part, and a couple episodes of the third part. So hopefully we can finish that up. So Towns and Trials. I'm going to show you my favorite one, which is the one I started with. I love the second one because I like spooky spiders. And that is what this one is about. So this one's called Pest Control. And what Scotty does, he kind of gives you these nice bullet points, just kind of what's going on for the adventure. He gives you a couple NPCs and what to kind of read if you want to read it, a little couple lines that they could be saying to the players. So Scotty really sets us up perfect for my kind of adventure book. This is perfect for me. It doesn't tell you 1 through infinity what you have to do, then next. Scotty sets it up as, here's a whole bunch of bullet points, what are kind of going on, and you make it fit some kind of narrative, which is really good. Works with my kind of sandboxy style, where I just throw, things at the player and see what they go with, because, some silly throwaway NPC might be their best friend for some reason. Or like my players, I said they wanted to pick up stuff before the adventure happened, and like, is there like a place to pick up provisions? Sure, over there. And then they just went all out, and it turned into a big 30-minute, 40-minute episode of them going to some pharmaceutical, not apothecary, and trying to haggle with him. And normally I don't like shopping in games, but it turned out to be more silly than a shopping list. It was more like kind of its own little adventure of dealing with this other NPC. So that was fun. So he talks about some other people that are in this episode, because it's basically a town under siege, and they're kind of getting all these people ready to kind of go help them take back what's going on. So there's a couple more NPCs. So there's Marshal Matrius, there's Thorbert, Terry's son, there's the Crack Tusk Inn, there's some other Brazen Adventurer NPCs, a little Scottyism here. And then basically they go off on this adventure. You can kind of see some cool spooky spiders here. So before they got there, I just rolled up a whole bunch of little things for them to discover as they go through this dark forest. I kind of made it darker than maybe the original plan was, but that's how I play. And I made everything spookier, but there's a whole bunch of really cool items. Like I played, like, they came across a corpse. They came across these little spindles of nests in the canopy. They overheard like this adventure. They oversaw like somebody just kind of and be dragged off and stuff like that. Hey, wait a minute. What is that? I think there's a player over there. Wingus, take care of him.
Hey, looks like there's still a player around here. I told you players to get out of here. If you don't listen, you're gonna get cut. Yeah! Get out of here.
Okay, thanks, Wingus. I thought I told no players. This is GM only. They're trying to get a sneak on what's going to happen. They probably heard about this spider thing. Dang it. Anyway, for you GMs out there, it's okay, but man, I don't want to spoil for these guys. But anyway, so after they get through this spooky forest, then there's a nest of timbers, and then he kind of says, when it feels right, reveal the nest of broken logs to our heroes. And on the next page, you kind of see a little bit this map of basically, other than the village, which is somewhere over here, you kind of it's a point crawl, which I like, especially for Theater of the Mind. You have the forest near the town, which is where all those little encounters can kind of happen before they come in. And then there's this log pile nest, and you can kind of see these little eggs and stuff. So as the characters kind of come in, I had them come in last, like dead last. All the other adventurers already left because they were spending like 30 minutes at the apothecary. They end up coming up to the nest, and they just see these warriors already in here, and they're just kind of milling about going, what's happening? And then all of a sudden, from this little hole in the side here, just like, this huge force of spiders. These little guys, or these big guys here, you see the little adventurer over in the corner hiding behind a log, which is kind of how I played it, as these huge monstrous spiders come running through. And then there's, after they get through that and fight off some spiders, and they go through this long winding tunnel. And you can also go back and use some more of these little D20 roll tables to kind of figure out what happens as they kind of migrate through here. And he gives you some pointers, kind of what they might be seeing in there, which I like. It's like two little dots. You read that real quick, boom, you can generate some ideas. And then basically you're at the chamber below town, which is the nest of spiders. And you have this guardian spider, the mutant spiders, that kind of and take over and kind of guard the queen. And this is basically almost verbatim the scene that kind of happened as my player characters came across this giant guardian spider, basically nearly wiped them out. And they managed to like, we think we got it. And then I just say, oh yeah. And then in the back corner, there's this huge monstrous queen spider. and they just start freaking out. And luckily, this is also where the tale of Grimo came to be known. And I'll have to tell the tale of Grimo some other day because I'm kind of keeping this a little bit short. But we'll read the tale of Grimo some other day because it kind of spreads through this whole book. But needless to say, there were many criticals that were to be had that day. And I think we rolled he just like exploding dice all over. He had like a 7-chain exploding dice marathon. Managed to just kill this creature. But as that spider queen came, and one of its attacks is it just shakes the whole ground because everybody was basically dead from this big, huge guardian spider. They decided to leave, and that was it. They just kind of left. They thought they basically like, nope, we're out of here. We can't defeat a monstrous spider queen. But they ended up basically destroying the whole town. They set off some explosions, kind of killed everything. And they just kind of said, okay, we just leave now. And they left the village, and probably the spiders ended up coming back. But that's another tale to tell. But yeah, that's how Scotty basically sets us up. He gives you a little bit of kind of what's going on in the town, sets up a couple things. There's some details to discover, D20 chart. Then there's a little combat here, a little thing, and then there's the little point crawl map, and then some boss. And that's it. That's the adventure. And then you go on to the next one, which I really love too, which is the Haunted Keep. Oh, wait a minute. What is going on here? I told you, players, to get out of here. This is not for you. Wingus, take care of them.
You guys just won't listen, will you? I told you this is a spoiler episode. This is GMs only. You players, get out of here. If not, I'm gonna have to take care of you. That won't be nice. Yeah!
Okay, thanks, Wingus. Needed that. Anyway, I don't want to go through everything, but yeah, you can see how Scotty just sets up these little points in the adventure, and you can make that as much or as little as you want. He kind of gives you some ideas of what to happen at each little point, some setting hooks, the details to discover D20s, some monsters, and yeah, this one's actually longer. It kind of has, here's a point for everything. There's not like, whoa, what's behind the cabinet over there? Oh, the cabinet's oaken, and it was carved by a great hand artificer. No, there's none of that bullshit. You can add that in if you want, but Scotty just gives you some bullet points, and you just run with that. You know, this is my kind of way to make adventures. It's so perfect. I don't want to say no prep, but if you read this once, you can go with it. There's not a whole lot of, especially if you're fairly experienced. Even if you're not, I think you can. This is better. I think this is a much better way for a GM to be taught how to run than here. Read this 50-page excerpt on the back history of this castle, and here's a rundown list of every single room with every single thing that's in it. Here's some big block text that I don't know. I can't do it. I don't know. There's something wrong with me, but I can't. I just look at those adventures and I want to vomit. These I love. I love this thing, and it's fairly actually almost system neutral, other than like the stats. But any somewhat skilled GM could probably change these stats to any really OSR type of style or anything like that, or really any game. Just throw at the monster, put in your own. But the game itself, the roll tables, all of that, you can run with anything. But I recommend EZD6. But just in case, you want to get more mileage out of this, run it once with EZD6, run it again with another game, see how that runs. Of course, I totally play this one. You can tell. That's how I kind of chose. I just I like that art. I'm totally going to play that one. That looks cool. Dead people. Freaky elves. Awesome ideas. Plague rats. Yes, we totally played that one. Yes, we fought a gigantic plague rat. Need I not mention how awesome it was? Yeah, so you can just kind of see everything that's it. This is this every adventure is like about 6 pages. Some hooks, some roll tables, some threats, what's happening around the area, and a big bad guy. And some cool art. Totally cool art. Very evocative. Like, even if you don't know what to do, like, here's another use for this book. I don't know what to do. Just stare at some of this art, flip through, try to make some connections, and you can totally, get some really cool ideas for what to do. Like that, just look at that picture. That says so many things, like what you could do. Why is that creature in this cage? Is he good? Is he bad? Is he captured? Are they keeping you out or keeping him in, or her, or whatever? I don't know. And all the little Scottyisms. And even you can take this book as just like a great way to make adventures, or a great way to even just take notes. This is basically Scotty's way of taking notes almost. I'm sure he has when he comes up with adventures. He just writes notes this way. It's so awesome. So many good ideas, so many good ways. Like I came up with so many great ways to be a better GM, I think, from running this. And, just kind of letting my imagination go with it, not being afraid, just letting the player characters do whatever they kind of want. Well, not whatever they want, but within reason. So yeah, that's basically it. So highly recommended. Like I say, I recommend it for EZD6. I recommend you could use it for probably Grit Fantasy RPG. You could use just the adventure ideas alone for any system. And it's great, like just how to write adventures. It's a great course on how to write good adventures. So that alone is definitely worth the cost. Thank you, Scotty. You made me a better GM, I think. I don't know. My players seem to like me. So anyway, I'm working on it. So totally check it out. And again, Rocket Punch. See you guys.